as we now head into the banking, the classic banking at Monza. And Jesus, it's bumpy. Hello there viewers, and welcome back to another video today, where today we're going to be previewing the Italian Grand Prix by going back in time and looking at the origins of Monza, seeing where the track came from, and yeah, having a quick little race around what is going to be the 1960s version of Monza. Now, what you will notice in this video is that Monza really hasn't changed all that much over the years. Sure, some chicanes have been added in, and there's been a few modifications to the track, obviously safety improvements and that kind of stuff, but there really hasn't been all that many changes. So without further ado, let's get on to the race now. So here we are then on the grid at the 1967 version of Monza, and driving the Ferrari 330 P4 here. So building up the revs, and away we go. Getting a decent getaway there. Just got to avoid the AI in front though. Do struggle with standing starts in this Assetto Corsa. AI just not quite sure what to do as they try and avoid each other. But heading up to the Curva Grande then here at the start of this race. Got no first chicane here, which is kind of a bit of a blessed relief. That first chicane, for those of you who are familiar with Monza and sim racing, is always, always a war zone on that one. So straight through the Curva Grande then, going to avoid the four GT40s in front. So we've got a number of different cars in this race. We've got myself in the Ferrari from 1967. And we've also got some 4 GT40s and a couple of Shelby Cobras thrown in as well. There's an instant in front. Oh, going to avoid that there. That 4 GT40 was rather vicious there, just completely destroyed the Ferrari, and I think it's caused a bit of a pile-up behind as we now head through Lesmo 2, so some action there on lap 1. First big braking zone, and the 4 just goes flying into the back of the Ferrari. So this race, kind of a bit of a recreation of the Monza 1000 from 1967, which this very car won, as we now head for this left-hander at the hands of Lorenzo Bandini, and I forget the other driver, can't remember off the top of my head. But heading through the Scari curve, now heading down to the Parabolica. We've got a 4 GT40 on our left hand side, now heading down to the Parabolica, hard on the brakes. That 4 GT40 is light on the brakes. Is he going to get it stopped in time? He is, that was a good move around the outside by the Ford. But now getting the power down out of the Parabolica. You can see, as I get on the grass, oh, Jesus, I thought that was it then. I was about to say, you can see the Parabolica hasn't changed all that much over the years. Pretty much still the same shape nowadays as it was back then. The Parabolica originally was just one long right-hander, but got modified in the 1950s to what you see in this video here, as we now head into the banking, the classic banking at Monza. And Jesus, it's bumpy. This is so bumpy, this banking here. This is part of the reason as to why it stopped being used. So the banking at Monza, it was last used in 1969 in the Monza 1000 race, and yeah, part of the reason is just due to the bumpiness of it. It is incredibly rough going through there, plus it's not at all safe. I mean, look at those barriers up to the top left. That's yeah, not suitable for modern day oval racing, as I try and hang on for dear life here, going through the south banking here. It is flat out, but jeez, it is vicious on my wrists as we now come out of the banking to the end of lap number 1. Oh, take a breath. Oh, my wrists can relax for a little bit as we go down this relatively smooth start-finish straight. Now heading up to the Curva Grande once more. We're going to give a little dab of the brakes as we go past the Pirelli circuit, which goes off to the right side. Now easing it through the Curva Grande. This is very deceptive. Easy to run wide onto that grass on exit. It's a longer corner than you think. Certainly isn't flat out like it is nowadays. Now heading up to the Lesmos once more. Going to slam on the brakes just as the tyre markings start. Down to third gear. Ease it through. Don't touch the curb on the inside because it can send you flying. Then powering out of Lesmo 1 onto the exit curb. Back onto the brakes for Lesmo 2. And again onto that exit curb. Oh, just grazed the barrier on exit there. Now going past the church on the right hand side, and now down under the bridge, so under the banking. We'll be going over that in a second, over the north banking. And now little slight down with the brakes through what was known as the Via Lone originally, and then this is where Alberto Ascari was sadly killed in 1955, so that corner was renamed after him. That nowadays is the site of the Assetto chicane. And back down to the Parabolica. Feels like you're coming to the end of the lap. I keep going to say, oh, and now through the final corner and across the line, but we've still got the banking still to go. It's quite deceptive. This track, quite a long circuit, 10 kilometres long. It doesn't necessarily look like a massively long circuit, but yeah, longer than you think, doing kind of 2 minute 30 lap times. As we come up then to the halfway point through this lap to begin the banking once more. Will my wrists survive? I hope they do. They are rather aching, to be honest. I've done quite a lot of practice and my wrists are taking rather a battering up until now. I'll just try and hang on for dear life here. This is the the disadvantages of a direct drive wheel. It's yeah, through bumpy sections of the track it can be extremely vicious. As yeah, I'm just holding on here. I've got 100% force feedback as well, trying to kind of recreate the forces that you feel in real life, trying to be as realistic as possible. Just on the right hand side there you've got a chicane, so oh dear, as we go through this final corner here, that chicane was used in the later days of using this banking. They put chicanes in before each banking just to slow the speeds down, just to try and make things a little bit safer. But coming out of this final corner here, as we come up to the start finish line, where are we going to finish? So just peek beneath the camera, it looks like we're going to come home in P5. That was a little bit brutal. It's very hot in this room as well. That was quite the experience, quite the realistic experience, to be honest. The drivers in real life, they would have been feeling forces just like that, experiencing heat a lot more extreme than what I'm feeling here as well. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I hope you guys did enjoy watching that. Just a little preview of Monza, kind of a little bit of a look back to the past. The track up until this point in time, to be honest, really hadn't changed all that much. So Monza was built in 1922, and this is kind of how it stayed. The only thing that was changed between the original version of Monza and this is a few barriers being added and a slightly reprofiled Parabolica, but that was it really. But yeah guys, I hope you did enjoy watching that. Do feel free to like and subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I will see you all in the next video. So goodbye.